Hello viewers, this is Say-La-Vee, and today I would like to do something new here on the channel. I would like to dive into one of my other hobbies, other than video games of course, and that is going to be tabletop role-playing games. You see, I've been playing since about 2012, starting with Pathfinder First Edition and then moving to Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, starting in 2014 upon its release. And now I'm looking to start something fresh. It's been 10 years and I want change. So now I venture back to Pathfinder to learn the Second Edition remastered rules. Building characters in these games is something that I love dearly. I sit at work when I have free time and I just want to pore over new concepts and new builds that aren't necessarily super powerful, but are super definitely fun to play. In concept, that is. If this is your first time on the channel, thanks for coming along. If this is your time coming back to the channel, thank you for coming back. And without further ado, let me introduce to you our first build here, the Big Brawler. My goal with this build is to build a large character who is capable of grappling and throwing around whatever steps in his way that he doesn't like the look of. To do this, we are going to be jumping between the remaster books Pathfinder Player Core, Pathfinder Player Core 2, and Howl of the Wild, as well as the GM Core for some rulings. This character is going to be built here on Foundry for some fun video plans later on. I will be assuming for the most part that you know how to play this game, so I will be glossing over the basics. Warning out of the way. So, let's together make a new character here, and we are going to name him very cleverly Minnow Monk. Now, Minnow Monk is a Minotaur. Add that in there. Minotaurs have 10 starting hit points, a large size category, which is key for this build, 25-foot movement speed, a bonus to their strength, constitution, and flaw to their charisma. That free boost that we gain will be going into dexterity. They also learn common and Jotun naturally. They have the beast, humanoid, and minotaur traits. They start the game with dark vision, and then they also have a unarmed attack called their horns. This is a D8 brawling unarmed weapon. For heritage, we are going to be taking something a little bit different here, not minotaur, but we are going to reach into versatile heritages and take out the dragon blood, which came out of Pathfinder Player Core 2. The Dragon Blood here gives us the Dragon Blood trait, so we have a fourth one up here. We also get access to the Draconic language. It gets added to the list. And then on a successful save against a fear effect, that gets bumped up to a critical success instead. Moving on to our background, we are going to be diving far down here to the bottom and taking Warrior. Pathfinder Second Edition backgrounds increase one stat that is decided between two. Warriors have to choose between either Strength or Constitution. We will be choosing Strength, and that free one is going, just like the last one, into Dexterity. This also gives us training in the Warfare, Lore, Skill, and Intimidation. So let's run over to Skills, add the Warfare Lore. We trained in Intimidation, and let's move on to Class. Class, as our name suggests, we will be taking Monk. Monk is finally going to fill in some of these extra bits, but to gloss over it quickly, they get to choose their key attribute between Strength or Dexterity. We will be choosing Strength. They gain the training rank in Perception, Expert in all 3 saves of Fortitude, Reflex, and Will. They get 10 plus their Constitution hit points every level, resting us at 21 currently. They become trained in simple weapons and unarmed strikes, as we can see here. They are untrained in all armor, however expert in unarmored defense. They are trained in the Monk DC, and they also get a couple of actions here, one of them being the Flurry of Blows action, which says that we can strike twice, and if both hit the same creature, we apply the damage all at the same time. This is to overcome resistances and weaknesses. They also gain the powerful fist feature, which turns all of our D4 attacks into D6 attacks. Or, well, not all, but our fists specifically. We also here get an ancestry feat, and we will be diving into our draconic background here and taking draconic aspect. Draconic aspect is going to net us a jaws attack. This jaw attack gives us the unarmed and forceful traits, which forceful means that when we attack with it more than once on our turn, the second attack gains an increase to the number of weapon dice. So when we hit level 4 and get that sweet, sweet devastating attacks, that goes up to +2. Moving on to the end of level 1, we are going to apply our 4 free boosts that we get from our character. We will be choosing Strength, Dexterity, Constitution, and Charisma. This is going to drag our Charisma out of 0, or out of a negative, thankfully. And we are also going to round off the skills that we get. We will be taking Acrobatics, Athletics, because it is the main portion of this build. And additionally, we are going to be taking Nature, because we are a beast after all, and Crafting, because labyrinthian minotaurs like to craft. If it came to deities, we would most certainly be reaching into Caden Kalian, if you were interested. So if you did take this character in a religious direction, that's what I would consider. Moving on to our equipment. If I were to get equipment on this character, I'd probably take an adventurer's pack, a climbing kit, a grappling hook just to throw in that climbing kit or backpack as well, explorer's clothes for runes later down the line, and a staff because they're free. Going to level 2. I would like to say right now, where it becomes important, we will be using both the automatic bonus progression and the gradual attribute boost variant rules from the GM Core and Game Mastery Guide, I believe, because gradual attribute boosts are not in the new version. This is going to give us a +1 attack potency, bringing all of our attacks up by an extra 1. And we are also going to boost here at level 2 our strength, bringing that to a 4.5 technically. Here we get 2 more feats, so let's run over to our class feats. We didn't do this in the level 1. Our level 1 class feat is Wolf Stance. This is going to get us access to a new unarmed attack, and here we are going to be taking Crushing Grab. The Wolf Stance gives us access to another unarmed attack, which is the Jaw, Wolf Stance Jaw. This is a D8 piercing attack with the Brawling group, Agile, Backstabber, Finesse, Non-Lethal, and Unarmed traits, and while we are flanking a target, we also get the Trip trait. That's not super important at this point in time, however, it will affect us later on down the line. Crushing Grab says that whenever we grapple a creature, which we tend to do a lot, or we plan to do a lot with this character, when we grapple them, we deal damage to them equal to our strength modifier. At level 2, we also get a second skill feat, and here we are going to be reaching into Titan Wrestler. Titan Wrestler is a skill feat that allows us to grapple creatures and do all of those athletics checks, disarm, grapple, reposition, shove, and trip creatures 2 sizes larger than us instead of the normal 1. That is very important because as a large-sized creature, the sizes in this game go tiny, small, medium, large, huge, and gargantuan. That means that large, huge, gargantuan, we can grapple every creature in the game right immediately at level 2, where normally a medium-sized creature would need to be a legendary in athletics. Moving on to level 3 here, put that in up top, we get our Mystic Strikes for magical unarmed attacks and Incredible Movement, which is a +10 status bonus to our speed when we are unarmored. We also here get to choose a skill boost, which we will be adding that to athletics. Now, we are also going to be increasing back here on the main screen our dexterity to +4. We also are going to increase here at level 3. We get a skill increase. We are going to bring athletics from 10 to 12 by bringing it up to expert rank. Monk also gives us a couple more feats here, one of which being a general feat, which we are going to take Adopted Ancestry. Now, we already have an interesting choice of ancestries here because we are a Minotaur, we are a Dragonblood, and now we are an Orc as well. This is going to come in handy at level 5, which will be the final level of this build today. Now, progressing to level 4. We get here Devastating Attacks, which increases all of our strike damage to 2. So if we go here and we roll our fist and then damage, we can see that we are rolling 2d6 plus 4 as they just come in now. It's a pretty good roll with 13 damage, almost maximum. We are also going to get here at level 4 a attribute boost again, and we are going to be boosting our Wisdom. This is going to bring our perception and will save up just a little bit more. We get to choose another monk feat here at level 4, which if I clicked on the right tab, we could go in here and grab ourselves Flurry of Maneuvers. Now what Flurry of Maneuvers does is it increases the ability that we have from our Flurry of Blows, giving us the ability to replace one or both of them with Grapple, Reposition, Shove, or Trip. Mind you, every time we do one of those things, we also get, or every time we get to grapple something, we also do our damage of the Crushing Grab. And if we are in the Wolf stance, we get to trip regardless to if we are flanking. Skill feats. We get another skill feat here at level 4, and we are going to be taking Assurance, or as the normal people would call it, Assurance. In athletics. This is going to give us the ability to just instead take a 10 on an ability instead of rolling a d20. And the downside of using assurance over rolling is that we do not get to add our strength to it, only the proficiency bonus. In this case, that would be the expert proficiency bonus. So subtracting 4, it would just be +9. Moving finally to our last level of the day, level 5. Here at level 5, we get Defense Potency, which is going to bring our AC up by 1, and we get one final attribute boost. We are finally going to bring our Charisma to +1. Here, we also get to choose another Ancestry feat. We will be taking Bloody Blows from that Orc Ancestry that we just got access to at level 3. Bloody Blows states that when striking something, we critically hit and deal 1d4 persistent bleed damage. So this is quite wonderful because not only do we have lots of different fancy unarmed strikes, now we can make things bleed. This is further boosted by the fact that we get our expert strikes at this level and access to the critical specialization effect for brawling weapons. So we're critting, we're doing a special effect, and we are bleeding. We also gain our perception expertise here and another skill increase, which we will be placing in intimidation, bringing our intimidation from trained to expert. And that's the build. I hope that you guys enjoyed this big, lean and mean grappler build. In theory, I just find it so amazing that we can grapple even the biggest creatures on the battlefield. I can see it now, a brontosaurus wandering through the forest and happens to step on the wrong snare trap. This ruined Minomonks' chances at getting a better lunch than berries all over again. With a fierce leap out of the bushes, the large and hulking beast grabs the Bronto by the ankle, drags it to the ground, leaving behind fiercely bleeding wounds. It has learned its lesson today, and it will never do that again. Everyone, I hope that you have a good night, or good morning, or evening, or afternoon, whatever it is for you. Just have a good day, okay? This is Say-La-Vee. Bye-bye.